So thanks so much for asking me to speak. I'm Sean McCormack. I'm the founder and chair of Ealing Wildlife Group. And I want to talk to you about our Help an Ealing Owl project, one of the conservation projects that we are focused on this year and into the future. So just if we move on to the next slide, I'll give you a little bit of background about who we are and what we do. Ealing Wildlife Group, it was founded by myself in 2016 when I was asked on a Facebook group about bats at the Hanwell Viaduct. And I'm a lifelong naturalist and nature nerd, and I knew a bit about bats, so we had a little chat. And then I asked on a local neighborhood group if anyone would be interested, if I went and borrowed or bought a bat detector, would they be interested in coming on a bat walk that summer? And over 400 people said yes. So I knew that we had people interested in wildlife in Ealing, and that's where Ealing Wildlife Group came from. So bat walks have remained a core activity for us. We're now nearly 3,500 members on Facebook, but we also do lots of offline conservation work in the borough around threatened species, urban threatened species in particular. And much of it is in collaboration with our council park ranger team. So if we go to the next slide, why did we focus on owls? Well, we decided to launch our project focused on owls with the council ranger team because anything that we do to improve breeding and feeding habitat for owls, which are apex predators in the ecosystem, will actually have a trickle-down benefit effect for lots of other species too. And we got £2,000 from Tesco Bags of Help scheme, which was great. We bought about 20 owl boxes designed for tawny owl and little owl, which we knew were breeding in the borough, but also for our target species, which was this amazing barn owl, very scarce in Ealing and in London. So if we go to the next slide, we decided that one of a really good way to engage people and talk to them about what we were doing and talk to them about the broader, habitat issues facing it, not just a nest box scheme, was actually to produce a documentary series, and one of our members decided he would help us out with that. So if we just play the first minute of this clip, it gives a good intro to the project.
We're coming out today to try and find sites for our target species, which is the barn owl. So we want to put up boxes for barn owls in Ealing that will be used, and the sites we're looking for need to have good hunting ground nearby. They need to be a little bit off the beaten track so that they're not disturbed too much by the public, and they need to be safe and in the appropriate trees for the barn owls so that they're going to see them and find it a good place to nest. So we're just at our first site now. The rangers in Ealing have told us there's a couple of trees here that might be suitable, so we're going to go take a look.
We manage these meadows mostly as wildflower meadows, so they're cut once a year at the end of summer and the hay is collected, and over time that encourages the wildflowers and all the creatures to feed upon them. But we started leaving a thick margin at the edge of the field, and that's left to grow, and maybe we'll cut it back every few years. But this sort of dense grass, rarely cut, provides habitat for small mammals and the type of creatures that the owls will need to feed upon. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes over the next few years.
So that's fine to stop there. So you can see from James, our ranger there, the importance of habitat management and habitat creation, especially because some of the rough grassland habitat that barn owls need to feed actually in our local area that we have already is under threat of development. So we really focused on boxes being one part and habitat creation being the next in partnership with the council. You can see then that we had the mammoth task of getting these boxes in trees, and the barn owl boxes in particular are very heavy and cumbersome. So great work done there from our ranger team. And the next slide is myself and Caroline, our vice chair, lugging ladders across fields and looking at trees and boxes. And we decided to put a couple of trail cameras on some of the boxes just to monitor whether we had any activity in the early breeding season at the boxes and find out if owls were looking at them. We also went on evening patrols, socially distanced, of course, in the last few months. And we had members reporting sightings of owls at or around boxes as well. So here we have a tawny owl in a natural nest site and one of this year's little owl chicks. So if we move on to the next slide, I'm really excited to share some of our success from our first season, or at least the start of it. So if we play this little clip. This is a little owl looking at prospecting at one of our barn owl boxes. Obviously didn't get the memo that we also had little owl boxes, and really, really thrilled to say we have had barn owls in one of our boxes this year. We haven't checked the footage again after this. We've given them space to breed, and it's now the kind of time when chicks will be coming out of boxes. So we've left them well alone, and we'll have further updates. If we go on to the next slide, If you want to keep in touch with what we're doing and get more updates on our OWL project, as well as all the other projects that we're doing, you can sign up to our newsletter on our website, which is ealingwildlifegroup.com. You can join us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we also have lots of video content of wildlife and our projects on YouTube. And if you want to get in touch, you can just drop us a line on ealingwildlifegroup@gmail.com. Thank you so much.